Hi, everybody. Morgana Starr here, your fearless leader in Awaken Your Intuition, um, along with Tina David, who is here in spirit always. So, how many of you are just loving this time that you've got your kids basically here all the time? You can't send them off to school. And supposed to be homeschooling, have to do the crackdown, and it's a little frustrating. So I'm sure you're not loving it as much as you want to love it, and that is definitely the issue that I'm seeing with so many of my clients right now. And just an FYI, I raised my kids as a single mom, and to a boy and a girl, and most of the time, I homeschooled them. So I had both. I sent them to public school part of the time, homeschooled them, especially during the early years. And it can get a little stressful, especially if you're not really getting that support at home. And when I started doing that, it was during the time that I wasn't really awake. I was waking up, but I was caught in the church and still subscribed to their dogmatic teachings of hell and damnation and all that stuff. So I was in an unhappy marriage and a very abusive in many ways, psychological abuse, not physical abuse with him. And so, yeah, it all came out sideways with my kids. So when they were all the way till they turned to about 3 and 7, was about the time that I left him and started to find some balance in my life. And Mary Kay Cosmetics really helped me a lot because of the way the company was run and what she did for women. And I'm always an emotional sob when I talk about her. I did get the honor to meet her. So was a sales director, had a free car, and I allowed a guy to ruin it. But, that was a good lesson. But Mary Kay, being in that company and empowerment and what she did for women was unsurpassed at her time. And I'm always grateful to her. So I was all excited to meet her, and I meet her, and then I'm sobbing. I'm just like, oh, thank you so much for everything you did. But I think that was pretty normal because most women were feeling that way about having a direction and hope. And this is why Dana and I created the company, is so that we could help women, help men, help families. I'll just share a little ugly part of my past when my kids were little and they'd come to me with stuff and they'd ask me questions. I'm busy. I'm reading a book. Leave me alone. Doing the dishes. What do you want? And I'm kind of downplaying it because it was a lot more nasty than that. Always on edge. And, as a parent, you always have guilt. And so I had to release the guilt that I had put that on them at that early age because that wasn't fair to them. But that's part of what they contracted in for, was to learn that in that way. But how do we deal with this stress with the kids coming and bugging us? Some of it is boundaries. A lot of it's boundaries. And the best way to teach your kid how to make their own boundaries and how not to be selfish is to be a little selfish yourself. So you have your mommy time and then you have your kid time together. So those things are really important. If they know, okay, it's not time yet. Do you know what time it is? Okay, when it is 3 o'clock, then we have a whole hour and you get to pick whatever we're going to do, and we're going to do something fun together. You may be watching The Lion King, you may watch a movie, you may color, you may draw, you may build a contraption, whatever it is. Let the kid decide and give that as their reward. Their reward is time with mommy. And that's true for the daddies too. But make that time, that's what they really want. And focused on you. Take your phone, put it away. Don't look at it during that time because it's all about your child. And then they'll say, okay, now I got my time. So then they're their pressure valve is over and they're not picking at you all the time. The other thing is get them in a project. So they may ask you a question about, why are there stars in the sky, Mom? I don't understand the twinkles. Where'd they come from? That's a great question. I want you to go here and here and see if you can find out. Or you draw, if they're young enough they can't Google anything or that you don't have any books about it, then get them to draw pictures. You know what? I would love to talk about that. Let's do that at our 3:00 and then we'll have some fun time. But I want to see a story. You write me a story. You draw me a story about how the stars are made. And you tell me, because I'm really more interested in how you think about it than what other people think about it. That's going to hit your kids and they're going to go, oh, Mom cares about what I think? Okay. And then off they go on their little project. I'm really quite excited. I want to do more. I definitely have a passion for these little ones that are coming in, and they're so amazing. To give them some guidance and working on putting together something with dowsing rods and some fun stuff. So if you guys are interested in that, get you some dowsing rods, and then we're going to be covering that in a class or something like that later down the road. I'm going to give you one other little trick. Do the HU, HU. And for you that know about Eckankar, the religion of the light and sound of God, HU is, in that religion, the sound of God. And in all religions, there's that sound, who, that when they speak to God. So you can get your kid, if they got lots of energy, just start going, let's HU for a minute. And you set the timer, and for 60 seconds, you're going to HU, 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 and then have the kids come in at different times. They can make crazy sounds, HU like a dinosaur. Be a dinosaur. How would a dinosaur do that? HU, have some fun with them. And if they have those little sparks, they're going to get bored of you. Then they're going to run off and do their thing. And then the bottom line, this is really important, is you have to be okay. And there is that old adage, if Mama ain't okay, no one's okay. And until I started being serious about my spiritual walk, and I went in and I healed some old ancient wounds from past lives, from this life, inner child work, shadow work, learn how to work with those energies, took my Reiki up to a whole new level. I wasn't a very good mom. And I didn't have the tools for myself, so I certainly couldn't help my kids the way I did want to. And we have some people that are in our course, our online course, that are in it just simply because they want to be ahead of the curve for their kids and their grandkids. They're looking to us for answers, guys. Not just other people in the world, but our little ones. They're looking to us for answers and examples. And when we're crabby old people, they're not going to want to look to us anymore for answers, and they're going to go off and be crazy. Let's save our kids. And the way to save our kids is to save ourselves first. I tell you what, there's kids out there killing themselves. There's kids out there cutting themselves, hurting themselves. I have a student that came to me when she was 14, and she was in a bad place, really negative, and doing some things that scared her mom. And she stuck with me. See, I'm a mess. I love her so much. She has been so amazing going through all the teenage angst and all that. And now she's one of my top proteges. She's amazing. And watching her grow in the Soul Solution course, her online class, has been one of my greatest joys. As is what I do. I feel really deeply, and I know that you watching are empaths and you feel the pain of others deeply too. So when you're ready to make a shift, when you're ready to help your kids in a way to empower them, to show them how to live, because kids learn by example more than anything. Send Dana or I a private message and we'll set up a time to see if you qualify for our online course so that you can spread your wings and fly and you can teach your kids how to do the same. Love you guys.